players, and now they still haven't even finished the tournament because now the team's at the major. So that's really hard to say. Like, they basically been on and off playing this side tournament. I think it's called I-League or something. But yeah, there has been a higher volume of games.
So, are you saying TNC plays in I-League as well?
No.
LGD.
Okay, LGD. I see, yeah. Yeah, from what I've heard, I-League is like, well, I watched I-League and I saw Fakeon playing 4 Undying. I was like, position 4. What happened? Did he like have such a bad game of offlane? They're putting him as it's like he's downgraded to a 4. But no, I think they're just having fun messing around.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to learn, right? I mean, that's how you get a Viper that goes jungle as well. That doesn't happen unless you had to do that at some point.
Sure.
In a pub or an official non-DPC related. All right, let's see then. We got a Snapfire Mag picked up by TNC again. As mentioned, Mag is an absolute flex pick for this team. They play it on all different positions. Snapfire so far has only been position 5 though, so we can remove the Mag 5 probably from those options. PSG LGD going for the Death Prophet and the Enchantress. Any opening you like more?
I like the idea of PSG's opening because you pick the Ench because you naturally want to play Ench into AA, so therefore TNC is kind of deterred from picking it. They then get to go for a Death Prophet, closing out the first phase, instantly into an AA ban. They ban the Lina out as well, which is a very good hero against DP in the mid lane especially, because you play off range, you never have to siphon from the DP. So yeah, it's very much a pretty smart tactical opening from PSG to kind of get everything they want and then get kind of multi-value bans from first and second phase.
I think also one like underrated thing about the Enchantress Death Prophet, and actually one of the big reasons that I think Enchantress, despite a lot of nerfs, came back into the meta at Season 2 DPC, is because the Enchantress running a creep at a tower, oftentimes with just like +1 push hero or with like a catapult, there's not much you can do to beat that timing because Ench can show up to your tower at 5 minutes, nobody's ready to fight, and that creep just is a complete beast. And then with a Death Prophet who's level 6, it's like any tower you put these 2 heroes in front of is going to die. The only problem is like it's a bit squishy between these 2 heroes, so probably some sort of like Centaur type hero is something that they need to pick, but that's okay. They only have 2 heroes.
I think the key thing here is the way in which Magnus is played, unless it's a 5, because TNC has run at 5 before, and I think with this type of opening from PSG, I think you might want to put the Mag into a 5 role.
You want to put Snap 4?
Yeah, like put Snap 4, Mag 5, go for like a PA, for example, just because Ench DP will look towards playing together, every ult go for a tower. Mag naturally goes from lane to jungle. He doesn't really want to show up and defend the tower. It kind of ruins his kind of the timings of his farm efficiency early on. And that's why I think PSG were happy to go for a DP so quickly, was because it's like, well, you have this Mag, great, but your kind of smooth entry to the game is completely kind of removed.
If they play the Mag 5, they absolutely need something that's going to defend their tower.
Yeah, for sure.
Because otherwise you're going to get mega ran out. So I agree with the idea that like the Mag jungle is a slow timing for a core, where normally that core would be the one to show up and defend towers. So maybe flex it to a 5 position with some sort of PA type hero. Maybe Juggernaut, because it's a little more early game centric. It's a little bit less risky. But you definitely need something that's like maybe a Lina, you know? Oh, actually, Lina.
Banned.
Lina is very much banned.
Yeah.
But something to long range, like non-committally defend towers. Puck would also be quite good.
Yeah, the RML Puck. We've seen him do that before.
He popped off yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Despite having a really rough early game, he still eventually came back. And I love that he goes Boots of Travels every game. I was trying to figure out like why he went Boots of Travels in that game. And all I could think of is just that I think this team just really values, in general, Boots of Travel as an item in any game. Okay, so they do go for the puck. I think legitimately bots are in such a place that you should have a bots hero, or at least a hero that has brown boots with the option of going bots in every single game. I think this item is far too good to not go for it. It just gives you the option to clear up all of the dead lane farm that nobody else wants to take. Basically means you get to have 1 extra mid laner as, you know, that level of farm in the game.
Yeah.
Interesting puck from TNC, because it's showing more about their own confidence in what they want to play rather than what PSG is picking, because naturally DP into puck mid lane is heavily DP favored, because you have the silence, you pressure the tower, and you don't really get annoyed by the puck itself. So yeah, TNC very much drafting for what they need in the game. And I would even argue with the Spectre, Ursa, Void ban, somewhat more elusive carry heroes, that I would gravitate towards saying the Mag could easily be a carry in this game, because like the way in which TNC dismantled Enigma was from these clean executions of Mag RP's the core, the carry, whatever, he dies, move on.
Honestly, yeah, the Spectre ban instantly makes me think it's a Mag core.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it's a Mag support, it's like you don't care if the blink is being canceled. There's no blink. Mag
You're like skewing around like,
you're skewering in pathetically to try to hit your RPs. But as a core, it's like you're relying on those blink RPs. So you're definitely right with the carry bans.
Well, let's see. PSG LGD is taking quite a long time to think of an answer to this. TNC hasn't run Puck in any different position other than having our Mel play at mid.
I don't think
the
so.
Death Prophet most likely going to be on the offlane. So is this the place, is it the time where you would search for a hero for nothing to say? No, turns out that's not the case.
This is, you ban an AA second phase and you have 3 heroes that have a component of healing. This is going to be a very tanky lineup that can individually potentially survive an RP, but also enable each other to get through it.
It seems like a really good Vessel game, honestly. Like, it may be a Vessel carry or just get it on your Puck, because you're totally right. Like, this is way too much healing to just ignore it. And these heroes are very squishy. If you can get through the healing, it's like they're not hard to kill. The one problem for TNC is none of these heroes in LGD, you don't know where any of them are going. Like, this could be a 4 or 5 Wyvern, this could be a 4 or 5 Enchantress, this could be an offlane or a mid Death Prop.
Exactly, yeah.
So we don't actually know what the lanes are going to be. But then on the flip side, it's the same. We don't know if this is a carry Magnus. We don't know if it's mid, it could be an offline Magnus. Who knows?
I guess the key thing here is TNC, their draft so far, it is just robust. And it works, you know? Like, if it is a carry Magnus, like, there's so much damage coming from in regards to Snapfire and Puck. So the kind of the tankiness of PSG through Cold Embrace and Enchantress, these are heroes that do die to any magic damage. So now they pick up a Pangolier as well. Like, TNC actually has a really nice draft to deal with the flexibility and the kind of the healing components of PSG.
Pango is a tough hero though into the Wyvern. I mean, that's one of the classic
Because of the Winter's Curse stopping the Rolling Thunder.
He just balls up and you just curse him and get out, and you know, it's one of the best heroes to disengage against is this Pangolier, and Winter Wyvern's like arguably the best disengaging support in the game.
This is why I think TNC they've covered themselves with 3 forms of initiation now. So if the Rolling Thunder, if Pango's getting cursed, the Puck's then jumping in coiling. If the Puck's getting cursed, the Mag's RP and the Rolling, you know, like they have so many ways to kind of get into the fight that it's all about PSG having really good positioning. Like the DP, be it offlane, be it mid, needs to get to like Yule's BKB really quickly so that she can frontline and ensure that the Wyvern is always in the optimal position to get the correct curse out. Like, a methodical game is required.
Okay, there's the
more tanky.
DK mid most likely, now DP offlane. Unless they want to do DK offlane like Nigma runs, but I don't think they've run that so far in DP.
No, and then they've only played DP once for Faith Beyond. But again, the flexibility still there. We know that PSG LGD is a versatile team, so they probably run multiple ways. Are we expecting the Pango then being a Tim's Pango, position 4? We saw him play it yesterday as well, and I feel like that would push Mag as the offlaner, leaving us looking for a Gabbi hero for them. And that's also what PSG LGD is thinking, considering they are banning out Terrorblade. We have TNC banning out the Medusa.
Yeah, I think in PSG's position, because they don't have ultimate last pick, they should just ban heroes that are like big win conditions. Because if TNC want to go for a Mag carry, it's all about execution and finesse. And of course, PSG, they have the confidence playing into this style because they are very good at kind of turtling up. And that's why they are putting a little more emphasis on banning carries and allowing TNC their creativity in their draft.
Yeah, there's like every single carry ban right now.
Loads of them. Juggernaut's still in. You mentioned him earlier. PA, obviously still combinations with the Mag.
5 seconds.
But we're definitely getting a smaller pool. Where Wraith King still in as one of the usual suspects, I guess.
Wraith King? So Wraith King is like their comfort, but the problem with Wraith King is like Death Prophet, DK, like these heroes are so easily able to just kill him after the ult. It's like, it's not like you're popping something on the Wraith King and then, okay, he comes back alive and then they don't have it up. Like the Death Prophet ult will still go. The DK stun is going to be on such a low cooldown that you can kill him when it's up. So that's the only thing is, but you know, with the Mag, you've got the big crit. Like that doesn't seem that bad.
Did they just go for like a Morphling something here? Just go for one more hero that likes playing like healing-esque, enabled by the hill, higher value. There's not a lot of like instant damage, it's more kind of like control and slow ticking damage where Morphling can thrive. And
It's radiant.
we'll see.
Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker.
Cool.
Okay.
Did not see that coming.
I'm talking about like some win condition. Like, nope, let's fight, let's go, let's just get out. And now they have Bloodseeker versus Pangolier. Of course, the Pango will not have a fun time. As soon as he rolls up, he gets ruptured, he's out of the fight.
But isn't that a good thing if it's a Pango 4? It's like,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. Yeah, it's not. When you're a support Pango and the enemy picks Bloodseeker, it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't really care that much. But that means that it basically does guarantee this probably will be a Tim's Pango.
Yeah.
Which is nice. That means you know the lane is easy for Bloodseeker, because what the hell does a Pango 4 do? You're just always going to go even in the
You're
lane.
always playing on pools anyway. And there's
You go.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Whew. The Mag PA combo. We're just waiting to see who picks up what to get some more clarity. We got a position for Winter Wyvern. Nothing really spectacular other than it's nothing to say on the Death Prophet, and the DK is on the off lane. While on the side of TNC, they are waiting with picking up. Oh, there we go. We got the Mag off lane, the Armel puck mid, yeah, and the Tim's Pango. Nothing too surprising there. Then. Yeah, that's the one that is expected. So, do we have a favored?
I think this PA pick, it does put a lot of emphasis on early fighting, but it can easily be dismantled by really good positioning of Wyvern, because you're not going to be blowing up like DP once she gets like a plate mail, or you're not really blowing up the DK. So it can be like an awkward game for the PA. But yeah, I think they do have good skill. Once they get over that hurdle, a couple more items, they're good.
Yeah, I think TNC, if the game does somehow go late, they obliterate LGD.
Okay.
I think it's not even remotely close to the late game.
Yeah.
But with that being said, LGD with DK Death Prophet, Enchantress, I mean, these are insane pushing heroes. So I would just give the edge to LGD, that I think they're a more structured team. And that with this pushing lineup, they will actually be able to close out the game before PA can get any farm.
So for all the TNC fans, as long as TNC can defend their towers, even just a little bit, they'll be okay.
If they're not losing, they're winning.
Yes.
For sure. I think the late game's not even close.
Yeah. This is one of those interesting games where you've got a Bloodseeker lineup with so much healing that it means you can survive long enough that your enemy will go low. Therefore, the value of Bloodseeker Thirst will go up immensely. So I hope to see a couple big drawn-out fights, and maybe Bloodseeker, like an MKB +1, he can actually fight the PA later on as well. But this will be some high-octane, 20-minute fights, really key spell usage. It's gonna be beautiful.
Long drawn out fights, I hear. We saw the kill per minute for both teams pretty high as well. And I know two people that are going to be very happy with that. Maybe their voice is not as much, but we will be entertained for sure with Cap and AY.
Oh yes, I'm certainly looking forward to this game and this cast, which I'm going to be doing with AUI. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more knowledge than just they're not losing, they're going to be winning. I'm not quite sure what that means, but Aoi, maybe you have a way to be able to break that down.
The Jenkins statement?
Yeah.
I think he's making stuff up. No, I think it's because, I mean, they have the Meg PA, right? Typically, like, you don't beat that combo late game.
Yeah.
I think LGD, they're already sort of like an atypical Chinese team. Like, if you look at all 4 Chinese teams at this event, I think LGD are the most special. They have a little bit of the Wings magic, I feel like, when I walk through games. They'll pick stuff like TA, Drow, Slaughter Cores. Very non-Chinese style. Usually Chinese Droughts are robust, team fight, can always win a game. LGD make crazy moves and they run at you.
A very high risk, high reward sort of situations, which is a little bit more focused on faster pace, let's say.
Very execution based. Like, I think, as an example, like I think Team Liquid plays a lot of very high execution lineups, which is why sometimes they're like sink or like they're very polar opposites in their performance. I think LGD has an element of that in them.
Blitz has often told me that the way Liquid approaches lineups is that we believe that we'll be able to play this lineup to like the highest degree.
It's a hard way to play Dota, to be honest.
And you're saying the Chinese style is sort of opposite of that, and that is something what I believe Kyle was kind of talking about whenever he played up against Chinese teams. It felt like they were always situated where they were waiting for you to make a mistake. They always had lineups that had a little bit of give and take. You know, they could take some abuse, but once you slipped up, that's when they would be able to punish you.
Yeah, I think in general, like, no matter how the game's going, the Chinese teams historically could always end up winning the game. You think of like these big like team fight OTs, just pristine team fighting skills.
Is that something that back when you were on Evil Geniuses, did you guys take a bit to that style? Because I do remember EG's style back then was very much having a lot of like that big high ground defense, those big team fights that could always turn the game.
Honestly, I don't even remember. Like, I feel like I should, but like, I feel like the scene was so much less developed then. That's why we were able to win.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if we had the same depth of strategy.
The scene was less developed.
No, it's like Dota's gotten better and better each year. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
some of the plays these players make are absolutely mind-blowing.
Now, something that is going to be unique about LGD and unique across this tournament is that Nigma has been doing super well after day 2. They're top of the group stage right now, and they have been the only team so far to employ this off-lane DK, and that's something that PSG LGD is going to be trying out here with Faith Beyond.
He's getting gone on though.
He is taking a lot of damage here. Something they got to be careful. This even though he didn't go Little Shredder, I imagine Little Shredder plus a PA is going to be a kind of a deadly laning phase combination.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty high armor, so that's probably why he didn't take Little Shredder. I think the QW, it gives you more options, not necessarily so the two of you can kill him, but when Pango wants to rotate, because I don't think he'll end up pressuring a Bloodseeker and Enchantress lane.
Right.
When he wants to rotate, you have like more kill threat.
Also, Little Shredder being nerfed, I believe the last match, it seems like more people are trending away from that one. We had an interesting conversation during the draft about this Pango 4 position pickup, as do have a bit of trading going on back at bottom lane. It looks like they might be able to get the kill here. Shin Q is just setting up for a Splinter Blast. He knows he's dead. He's just trying to do as much damage before he falls. That's going to be first blood for Gabbi.
That's a huge kill. And TNC, they've actually done, I mean, they've performed really well this tournament. They started the tournament 0-3. They picked up, they've gone 5-0. They have a lot of momentum. And in particular, they played their PA lanes really well. Like, they won with PA Magnus, which is completely unexpected to me.
Yeah. Okay, why is that unexpected to you?
Well, not in the game, but in the lane. I think Magnus is sort of seen as a like more greedy pick. You're not expecting to win the lane, but you know, you'll provide enough to the game with your Empower, faster farming PA, and high damage that's worth it. However, they got the best of both worlds. They just won the lane and they carried the game. They had like a 20-minute rampage on PA or something. Just stomped the life out of Liquid.
Yeah. Tim's being pressured right now by Y. He does manage to get the pull off nonetheless. I have to say, I was a little bit surprised how many people were doubting TNC, and that's purely because of the fact that I got to cast the game where it felt like they turned things around, which was the 1-1 against Vici Gaming. And in that game too, I could definitely see that they made adjustments and they turned, like, the way they started playing was different from going from game 1 to game 2. And all of a sudden, game 2 against VG Gaming, they looked fantastic. I was like, oh, this squad is really good. It's funny how these group stages happen, because sometimes if you don't see that like one game where a team turns around, your idea of what they are may not be correct.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even anyone who watched their second game versus EG, like they lost that game, but they looked really good in that game. A lot of the predictions coming to this tournament were 1 second they're going bottom.
Gabbi is
they're so aggro. I love it.
So much damage.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I'm gonna turn around in this Winter Wyvern now.
It's a good trade, right? Wyvern used all his spells. It's just very its risk was very calculated.
Yeah.
I think a lot of predictions about TNC were coming in with like zero information before they played any games. They looked a bit shaky their first game versus EG, but on that second game they should have won. Like RTZ just played really well that game, but TNC, they've stepped it up even more since then, and
yeah,
they're looking like one of the best teams to make it out top 2 in the group with their schedule.
Yeah, and this is probably the toughest opponent that they have left, right?
Yeah, I think so. Of like the top 5 teams, I think they've played all of them except for LGD right now.
Right.
And I'd like to see the Pangler make a rotation around the 5-minute catapults this game.
Okay.
I think they have some pretty good timings on TNC. I think they're not afraid of TPing in additional heroes to use it. When I think of TNC, I think of a team that's hyper-aggressive, and they want to play like that. Like, I know they could play this lineup defensive, you know, you have Mag PA trying to hold down the fort.
Yeah, sit on the triangle for 20 minutes and wait for PA to win.
Like, I think EG would win the game like that.
Sure.
But I don't think TNC should try to emulate that. They should beat themselves, because, I mean, why wouldn't you? They're 5-0 in their last games, and every game has been super aggressive. Like, this PA, he's probably going to go... He has Tread's Mask Commandus queued up. That's super cool. I thought he was going to go for Echo Saber, but I am also really down for something like that, like a Mask Commandus, small fighting item type.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an interesting idea. We did watch Tim's fall there as the Pango up against Y. And the Enchantress with the Help Air. Nothing major really coming out of that. You can see a nice aggressive
honestly,
ward
I think they're okay with what they got on top. I mean, LGD are winning the lane really hard, but as long as you don't feed and you get some levels, I think this is like sort of expected.
Big rotation from nothing to say. He's gotten on top of Gabbi. Gabbi, he's gonna try. He doesn't have a jump, actually. He's just dead. He jukes as long as he can inside of the trees, but with just a really good rotation from this Death Prophet, they kill the carry of TNC and are setting up to be able to take this tower. That's why Armel is already rotating in. He wants to make sure this doesn't actually happen. He's gonna try and clear out the creep wave as best as possible. Though LGD not wants to back down from this fight, it seems. They're gonna now force out the coil from Armel just to be able to save himself. They need more TNC members, though. They're actually going to hop in on Boomy. He's really going to try and do this one. Gabbi's now here. He's going to jump on Faith Beyond. He's so tanky as a Dragon Knight that he may eventually go down, but it's going to cost TNC a lot. In fact, Faith Beyond doesn't even die. Gabbi's now going to find a way out of here. Armel jumps to his orb to be able to stop the healing sound of Faith Beyond, but he's already helping it up. And Gabbi is just going to die a second time. Double kill for Innocence. And Armel may have stopped this push onto the tower and may be able to get the deny, but it was a terrible, terrible trade for them.
Just beautiful execution from LGD. I think in that fight, like they managed to rotate the DP for the kill, but their communication's really good because Enchantress is able to follow it up. You saw that Wildkin, that completely changes the dynamic of that fight. Moreover, like I think we're sort of seeing that TNC, their lanes are a little bit shaky. I think they would have wanted to sort of make the first move. You saw like the difference, like the puck coil was defensive, whereas DP was able to use the aggressive exorcism, and as a result, like this map is looking really good for LGD.
Do you think part of that is this Magnus plus Pango off lane?
That's right? A really greedy lane, yeah.
Yeah, neither one of those heroes is going to do anything for you pre-level 6.
Yeah, I was actually hoping for like some crazy move where like you coil the guy mid and you have both supports there and you TP a Magnus in or something.
Yeah.
Skewer him to break the coil. Like I think that's a move that they sort of had to make, but it's really hard to coordinate that in the game. Like you need everything to go out, right? And nothing to say, like he's been playing fantastic this tournament. He actually reads it and he makes a move first.
Yeah, he really has. Armel unable to grab what is a double damage rune. Goes to nothing to say and his bottle. Meanwhile, Ame's just kind of chilling out here in the top lane. 4,000 net worth lead for him. He didn't even bother to rotate to that bottom lane fight, which I thought was kind of interesting. Maybe he was just so confident that his team was going to win it. I normally imagine Bloodseekers joining engagements like that, but he has just been very focused on continuing to stay top of the net worth board.
I think he would have TP'd if the fight went a bit towards his tower, but you have to be really careful with those TPs just because Magnus's game was so bad, you don't want to get him back into the game. By staying top, he's actually doing a lot for his team because Magnus doesn't get a game to play. And Exo's already up, they're Exoing mid, they don't have the DK for him, but there's just so much pressure from LGD, and Ame, he's farming up a storm.
Beyond even just sitting here, Armel, they're going to spot him out. Now Armel is going to be forced to jump into silence, but he actually does use his silence to be able to get just out of range. Rupture damage is coming in. Armel is just on a sliver here. He's got another orb. He's going to be able to jump away. A beautiful RP from both. He's going to be able to steer 2 heroes into the tier 2. But the problem is, Cold Embrace stop much of the damage. And Tibbs, who's still just a level 4 Pango, doesn't do a damn thing in this team fight. Another shockwave thrown out, which is going to completely whiff LGD. Once again, putting pressure on TNC, and TNC failing to have the kind of firepower to respond.
And just such a good, like, how LGD rotates their heroes is just so smart. They've given this Bloodseeker a lot of space. He's gone to free farm. He has a little power spike. It doesn't even have to be something big because you're a carry role. All he has to do is come to his fight, rupture the puck, and push him off this tower. And just by nature of being there as a carry, he secures his team a tower, and it's like this huge swing.
Yeah, who else is gonna kill the creep wave on this lineup of TNC? No, like nobody really does that for you very well. Not under level, that is.
And I think the panel is mentioning, like, LGD know that TNC have this late game timing. And LGD, I mean, I think they've done the research into TNC. They know how TNC like to play, and they're like, how do you fight into a DK DP Bloodseeker core trio?
Yeah,
like that. They specific, like, why I like LGD so much is their drafts seem very specifically tailored to their opponents. Like, they don't have like this default that they over-index on. And I think it's like a very Xiao 8 thing. If the enemy picks Londred, we don't need teamfight. We're gonna pick Slaughter, Drow, TA. It's very smart. I like how they draft.
So in that case, let's talk about what TNC should do. Like you say, you can't fight into them. Okay, so what does TNC do in response? If you were in their position, how would you approach? approach the rest of this game.
So I think right now it's very hard to move past the river. What they need to do is they need to overwhelm their opponent in some area. Maybe try to take control of the jungle, play on the vision. They're going to get gone on Gabbi here though.
Gabbi, they spot him, but the rupture finally comes out as they manage to break that meld. Now Gabbi is going to be jumping over to this tier 2 area, and it looks like LGD are deeming that off bounds. They're not going to go that far to try and pursue. They just keep him out of his triangle. They block the ancient camp, make sure it doesn't respawn.
Yeah, I think their best chance, they have a good idea what to do in this game, right? Because they place these 2 jungle. What happened? Sorry.
Sorry, when I say block, I meant body block.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they place these 2 wards in their jungle. I think what they need to do is they need to try to get LGD to feel like they can overextend. Maybe they show a bit more top. LGD are like, okay, they're trying to flip the map. Let's go invade their jungle. You already have vision there. You take an overwhelming fight where you bring everyone to the fight and you hit some good spells. Like, that's the only way you can really come back against like a lineup that's ahead and wants to fight you.
Okay, so put like a PA out there and then surprise them with, oh, there's a puck mag behind it and we're gonna get this good combo on you or something.
For example, Y walks into the jungle here. You can imagine if they had a few more heroes there, like the PN snapper already, you just instantly kill the Enchantress, and then all of a sudden you have a disparity in resources on the map because you have 1 more hero alive. Then you can start running at them. Maybe think about like snowballing off for kill, taking territory, and getting some deep wards. Right now it's like they're a bit split. I don't think they're feeling desperate yet, so this is why they're not doing what I'm saying. Like, it's not like what I'm saying is absolutely correct. It's just like my read on the game, but maybe they just wait for timing before doing it. He almost has an Echo Saber on PA.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things they were missing previously was level 6 on the Pango. Like, that support doesn't do anything for you until he has his ultimate. So he's got that now. He's got the Orb Corrosion as well. Maybe they're going to wait for, like, Blink Dagger on the mag. What is Boat going for? I kind of assume that he needs an early Blink with a puck, but no, he's actually going sustain items with the mag. They're going to try and catch him out here, but very smart CP by him. Oh, actually, he Winter's Curse a creep, which was barely in range of the mag to Xin-Q. You goddamn genius.
That was amazing. That was such a good play from Xin-Q. I was just about to say, this Magnus just made the play of the game. He got his team back into it because they wasted Exo, they wasted DK for him. But Xin-Q, he just completely changes the state of the game with one damage
coming in over the cold embrace. See if they can burst down this Dragon Knight, and they will. Now they have the rolling boulder that's going to be chasing after Nothing to Say. He swiftly does dodge it. Does manage to put a little bit of drain onto Armel. The cookie actually goes out, gets him out of the drain. Gabbi, meanwhile, is unsure if he can commit. Throws out a bit of daggers. Nothing major. TNC probably feeling okay, just okay, right? We got a good core pickup. Let's not throw this away too much.
TNC, their read of the game there is really cool because even though LGD killed their offlaner, they committed a lot of resources to do that. They use a curse, they use Exo, they actually use 3 ultimates. They knew that they could defend this tower simply because their 3 heroes have so much magical damage between the mid hero and the 2 supports. It's good punish on the DK there.
Yeah. No, they certainly are.
Well, I am a bit surprised that Faith Beyond isn't buying any like a cloak, even just a casual cloak this game. It seems like TNC's read on the game is we're gonna burst heroes like defensively in order to get back into this game.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. If the Wyvern can't really initiate, and there's enough mobility that Rupture doesn't like absolutely hold a person in place, and they do kind of need that initiation. But yeah, like a Hood, just a straight up Hood of Defiance would make him, I think, near invulnerable in these team fights.
I mean, I think the Blink is good. He needs to be that frontline initiator for his team, but he's actually going for a Howard after, which is good this game. I mean, you're against Mag PA, stopping physical damage is going to be really good. But yeah, I would have liked to see just a casual cloak. I think it's an underrated item right now. And look at Xin-Q. He's just straight going for the Orchid. That's a cool build. Very strong.
Something that I feel like that's been flavor since Ice was experimenting off-lane Winter Wyvern, and he was going like, I think Orchid was his preferred build at that time, and ever since then it seems like these 4-position Wyverns, every once in a while we'll see an Orchid from them. Since it does pair up so nicely with Winter's Curse. Pretty much you Winter Curse somebody, you put it on them, the duration is about the same, and it's just going to be resulting in a ton of damage.
It's actually a really good defensive item in a lot of ways too, because if you look at Winter Wyvern's game, the game for Winter Wyvern this game, it looks like Puck wants to jump him, but if you have an Orchid, he can't really do that because of the threat of the item.
Yeah, that's true. Same kind of goes with Pango, right? He wants to be able to like swashbuckle you and then roll up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, same thing there. The silence on those two very mobile heroes that are typically like support assassins. That's sort of their job.
A lot of your job as a support in Dota is not to necessarily live, but to make the enemy, of course, overcommit.
Oh, okay, they had the vision here. They just straight up go, but look at PBI. He managed to get the stun out. That allows the Winter Curse to be able to go down, keeping Shinju alive. The shots, oh man, he managed to just dodge so much. Ultimately, Swansburg will finish him off. Still, though, Vogue is going to be falling here. And Boomy actually gets swallowed up by Ame, who's running around like a madman right now. He has built up some serious speed, though as people start dying, the speed eventually does wear out. Still, though, great team fight for LGD, and that's all off of the fact that Faith Beyond's quick reaction with the Blink Dagger stopped the skewer back.
Yeah, then that was really close. I think it was just unfortunate. Like, TNC saw the opportunity. They almost came back into the game there, but Armor actually didn't have a TP. So it's a little bit low to comms. A good reinitiation, though. Yeah, and managed to find the Dragon Knight once again. Faith Beyond overestimating his tankiness against this magic damage. But he's just not tanky with this Belt of Giant Strength compared to a Cloak.
Yeah. He's really he's got a Quelling Blade.
He does.
I can sell the Quelling Blade. Just buy a basic Cloak for me, please.
I feel like he might go back for a Cloak, but honestly, like, I don't want to harp on it too much. He clearly had some idea with it. Sange is clearly one of the best items of the patch, so it's hard, that's hard to say. And I mean, he did just save that last team fight. What can we say?
Oh, look at this. TNC are really going to try for an early Roshan because they have Pango, one of the best heroes against Roshan, being able to provide that disarm, and then they've also got a PA who can sneak into the Roshan pit with them.
Yeah, they have the corrosion.
Man, they got this.
This is clever.
They know this is happening. Even though they didn't have vision, they knew this was going on. And while he's silenced up, this PA still can't get out of the pit. He's looking to be able to blink away, but Roshan bashed him for a second there. PSG LGD, though, weren't quite ready to engage, especially since they don't have Exorcism. That's up now. Dragon form coming up in a few more seconds, and then LGD will be back to full fighting shape.
I can't believe LGD read that. Like, it was just such a weird auto-plays move.
Yeah.
Like, you just lost a team fight, and you're like, your support and your offlaner start hitting Roshan, and PA joins in later. But LGD, they just knew right away.
Yeah, LGD, excuse me. Tim, can we see LGD's vision again? It's just this bottom lane, these two very aggressive wards. They saw nothing there. They could have just all been triangle. They could have been maybe playing closer to the top lane farm, but no, they just made the read. Okay, we gotta beware. They can Roshan with this lineup. Boomy is gonna be breaking the smoke here from LGD. They managed to get the stun there. Rolling Thunder is gonna come out though. Hits a couple of heroes, but I don't think they want to fight into this exorcism. Maybe they do. Armel's actually gunning for it. He's gonna go straight for the Dragon Knight. Magic damage isn't quite enough, but now they have the Mortar and Skids is raining in as well. The Winter's Curse is gonna be able to grab the mag and pull him over as the Pango is about to finish off the Wyvern. They do manage to get him with the kisses. Why? He's going to be coming up next. It's Gabbi's gunning for him. Nothing to say. The RP pulls him and Ame together. They're putting out some good cleave damage, but it's not quite enough. The Bloodseeker's fighting through it all. He gets another kill. He keeps on healing himself. Nothing to say with the Exorcism still out as well. TNC were so close to wiping LGD, but Ame was just a bit too strong.
That was really close. I think he had like a couple hundred HP on Bloodseeker. LGD, they smoked in there before. I think Ame was coming to join the fight late, and the RP barely clipped him. It was just, oh man, one crit and the game changes there, I think.
Yeah, seriously.
And TNC, they have a good idea though. Like, the enemy's coming to your triangle, you're down a lot of gold, but they know they have to stand their ground there. They use 2 buybacks, and that, like, if they win that fight, that's your way back into the game. I like how they're not trying to, like, oh, you know, we have the late game, we're gonna split push the side lanes, be scared of our opponent, try to dodge them, because that won't work for LGD. There's no way, not versus these heroes. They have DK Blink, they have Wyvern Catch, even some Bloodseeker. Instead, like, they're taking fights, they're trying to outnumber them with buybacks.
So it's okay if they have less map control than LGD, but they cannot forfeit their triangle. That's like the one fortress that you must hold down.
For sure. I mean, if the enemy's running in, not bringing everyone, or you think you have like even a hint of a good fight, like, you should take a risk, seize the opportunity. You're behind. And TNC, I like what they're doing. You know, they went for that Roshan. They tried to hold their high ground. They're taking risks to try to come back in this game, and that's a mark of a good team.
Yeah. Oh, another explosive. Double damage. Everyone's going to be fighting over that one. Armel's going to be grabbing and putting over. He got stunned up, and now he's going to be silenced up as well. Oh, this puck is in trouble. The Rolling Thunder tries to be able to intercept, but Armel ultimately does die. Now it's Ame. Oh, they managed to get the Winter's Curse on the Rolling Boulder with the PA right next next to him, so they're both very likely to fall here. Sure enough, they do, and that low health allows Ame to be able to chase down Boomy, gets that extra +1 kill. 4 down on the side of TNC, just outside of the Roshan pit.
Jinkyu is just playing these fights like a monster. Perfect silence. He gets a save off on his Enchantress. You know, sometimes you're scared to save her, she's getting rolled on. Saves her. He gets a perfect curse. He's making Wyvern look like a tier 1 hero.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's very rare to see Wyvern before this tournament. I felt like it was only popping up every once in a while in the DPC matches. Sometimes it'd be 5, occasionally 4, but you're right. Jinkyu is making a good argument that this is a top-tier support hero.
He's higher farmed than the enemy offlaner. I feel like after this game, I mean, I'm not going to execute as well, but when I see a Magnus, I just want to pick this hero and try to play like Jinkyu does.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Crazy stuff. Look at him. He's even going for the Witchblade now, so just even more damage that he can throw out during a Winter's Curse combo. Like, this is very rapidly getting turned into...
He's going for a Shadow Blade.
Oh, is he?
Oh, he's going for a Shadow Blade.
I had my phone over and I just saw the...
because even so unexpected.
That's crazy.
The idea is super cool, though, because as we were mentioning earlier, Radiant's game plan on TNC is just to find this Wyvern and kill him. You cannot let him get saves off. You cannot let him get curse off versus a Mag PA lineup. If you have a Shadow Blade, all of a sudden, like... I mean, he won't be found. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Kaya for the Death Prophet now.
Man, this Bloodseeker, he only has like... When you think of Bloodseeker, you don't really think of these hard carry heroes.
Yep.
But I think he's shown in these fights, like, he will hard carry the fight, and he's itemizing for that. He's got Maelstrom, SOI Satanic, the classic, like, I will 1v5 this game build. And it's paying dividends. He has his Aegis. I don't know how they're supposed to kill him twice at this point. I think right now, TNC need to look... Like, I didn't want them to split push the side lanes before because they're only a little bit behind and could still fight with buybacks. At this point, I think you have to force out a bad TP from LGD or get a fight into your tier 4s in order to win this game.
Sadly, they're going to have to do that without Gabbi, as he does get fully rotated on by LGD. TNC is beginning to go for that sort of desperate split push style where you know you're down and you're down bad.
Yeah, and it's hard. The LGD heroes, they don't seem like they're that good at catching, like maybe the DK, but just by the nature of how they get to push waves with like their supports on Wyvern and Edge, it's really easy to catch people. And look at
DK got the Pango, managed to get him with the Orchid. They're going for him. Tims, he's going to be able to back out with just a swashbuckle, but he is going to have to run away scared.
4 creeps on the Pango, and he did 1200 damage in his ulti. That's terrifying. Like when he has a Shadow Blade, I can understand the Shadow Blade. He's getting Shadow Blade because he understands that TNC can no longer fight him. So the best way to catch people is just to get a Shadow Blade and walk around the map invis so you can set up curses.
Yeah, they can't split push.
That's really smart, actually.
Yeah, just run around.
Jinkyu is wrinkly big brain.
LGD, man, they have been a pleasure to watch. I've only been able to watch maybe about half of the DPC Chinese games, but
they're playing really well.
Yeah. I've always been surprised to see, like, why is LGD not at the top of the board?
Yeah, same actually, especially with Xiaolei coaching him. He's just such a world-class coach. And Faith Beyond, he actually goes back for the hood. I like that. Like, you can actually frontline a bit more. I think at some point in this game, he realized, like, if I frontline, apparently my 4 position is going to kill everyone.
Yep.
So you don't need to do anything. Even why? He's been dishing out some damage. He went for a very aggressive build. He only took 2 in the enchant and he maxed out his impetus.
No, I've noticed this about Nigma employ this as well when they do the offlane DK. They have 2 supports that output a lot of damage. Because that is the thing about DK is that even as a mid laner, he doesn't do that much. As an offlaner, he's just really not going to give you that much damage. But he does give you excellent frontline and excellent single target initiation. Boomy is going to be target here, but no.
Yeah, I really like what you said there. Because DK as a hero, if you look at him, he has a lot of strengths. Oh, TNC, they're trying to seize bottom. They showed a lot of heroes from LGD top.
They're doing that thing where they're moving around the map very quickly to try and catch LGD off kilter somewhere, but LGD is wise to it. They back up, and if the TNC's not careful, they're going to get caught here. Nothing to say was hiding in the trees. Now Faith Beyond is back into it, a silence into a stun, and there goes Armel. The rest of TNC has to give up any pretense of team fight. point without their mid laner. But the ruptured up on Gabbi. He has to go for a TP out, and he stuns. Dragon Tail's not quite there. And it looks like Boke, okay, they're going to chase him all the way down to the tier 3 here. The Pango's coming in. Can he Rolling Thunder stop some of this? They do give the cookie away to Boke, and he managed to skewer himself away to safety. Now, nothing to say. Awkward position, but he managed to juke the stun there. Oh, and Tim's runs into the side of the wall there. He won't be able to pursue after the Death Prophet now that they're outside of the base. TNC, not so sure they can take a team fight anymore. They're gonna have to wait for Armel, looks like. Never mind, skewer back into the cookie chain stun. Beautiful combo. TNC get the first life of the Bloodseeker and then back up. They're not gonna trade anything for that just yet. Puck is almost here. Armel, 3 seconds. If they can slow down these heroes, maybe they can get a good coil and still force a good team fight here. Beyond threatening to go back in there for a moment. He's got the Advent Halberd, so he is very tanky. LGD making sure that TNC doesn't feel super comfortable trying to chase them, but I think TNC realizes this is an opportunity they have to be able to seize. Armel jumping forward. He's got to be careful of that Orchid, though. He's been caught out by it once before. TP away from Boomy, and it looks like PSG LGD managed to hold themselves in a tight enough structure that TNC finds zero weakness to exploit.
I love watching these high-skill teams team fight. It's just such a dance, you know. They're sort of coming in, they don't want to overextend, and they're dancing and dancing out. And you know, the moment someone steps out of position, everyone's gonna jump on them and punish them.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
Radiant are scanning for
Shiva's almost done for nothing to say, so more frontline and more tank from the Death Prophet.
They do have the blink RP on Magnus now. I think we saw that in the skewer last fight, but I think it's so hard to push forward on the map as TNC. I think they might be stuck at this point to hoping LGD mess up. And oh,
this is that combo, that single target combo. Winter Wyvern, no longer just a defensive reactive support. The way Jinkyu has built it, he is now an active hunter in the game.
This Wyvern build is just, it's stopping TNC's ability to come back into this game. Because usually when you're behind, what you want to do is you want to play side lanes. You push out your side lanes, force the enemy team to mess up, maybe use a TP, react to you, and then collapse on them somewhere else. However, you can't push side lanes if it's an enemy 4 killing you. Like, they're not even bringing their big heroes.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, nothing to say has bots. If this Wyvern catches a core, like, they will bot in and they will kill that guy.
As a result, LGD sitting on a 14,000 net worth lead. TNC still does have the comeback potential just because it's PA Magnus. They've got a lot of team fight. They've got the big late game hero, but it is a dark and dreary game for them indeed. And
he has his BKB and PA now. That is one comeback potential. If they can get a really good RP, like, you can always win with this combo. I don't care how much gold you're down.
Yeah, especially with coil as well, right?
Yeah,
RP, coil on top, skewer them out of the coil to snap it, do even more damage, more stun time.
And Pango actually has his blink too, if he wants to buy it here. That's another, like, for Magnus to get a good RP, they need someone to go in. And I think that's a lot of why they picked the Pangolier. He can roll in. He doesn't even have to hit a lot of heroes, but the chaos he creates will cause Magnus to get a good RP.
It's just kind of like, look at me, and then all of a sudden Mag is like, I found my opening.
Man. You see Faith Beyond, I love his idea for this game. He's going for a force staff because he understands that even though he's the offlaner, he's just for utility. Oh, Jinkyu with the Shadow Wave bottomed up.
Jinkyu's hunting. He's going to find Gabbi. Spots him out. Winter's Curse and Orchid immediately. They do have the Bloodseekers coming in, but there's other heroes at TNC here as well. Gabbi actually going to use his BKB and he completes the TP. That was actually very disciplined of him. You see a 2-man RP like that, I thought for a second he was going to cancel the TP and try and fight, but that would have ultimately been a disaster. TNC used the opportunity to just get a clean escape.
Yeah, that was 100% the correct choice to TP out there. I think if he stays, he dies for sure, they lose the game. Just good decision making from them. Honestly, even the RP, like, it looks weird, but you have to make sure your PA doesn't die and you don't get over, I mean, you just straight up lose the game if you lose heroes there.
Yeah, absolutely. In that short of time, snap judgment, but wasn't a bad call from Boke whatsoever. And Armel, catching him with the blink Dragon Tail stun. Dragon Knight's just so good against Puck.
This Bloodseeker hits so hard. He even has like the armor talent. He didn't take the Blood Rage attack speed.
Oh, really?
Which I think is correct. I mean, you're against Mag PA.
Yeah.
Man, that Puck died fast.
All right, well, 45 seconds for Armel. without the puck, kind of feels like this is going to be one lane of barracks at least. But TNC are still going to poke at LGD, trying to keep them honest here.
Radiant's bottom barracks
Maybe
are
even
under
slow them down enough that they can't go for a second lane of barracks. Actually, backdoor protection came up for a second there. It's too bad they didn't push out mid lane a bit faster.
It's so weird. I think Radiant mid lane is the furthest backdoor protection of all the lanes in Dota. If the creep hits the tier 2, it actually cancels backdoor protection.
Yeah,
So that's just
Radiant
unfortunate
are
for them
scanning
there.
enemies.
that is a very deep line. I normally think about it being where the emblem is.
Yeah, no, you
It's
think
just
about it like it should be like when the creeps hit the tier 3 or something.
Yeah.
Or like 600 range from it. It's like 1200 range at mid or even more.
Oh, that's interesting.
Man, LGD, they really just did their homework on TNC. I think how they drafted, how they structured their draft, like they knew that they don't have to necessarily out-carry them late game, they just have to sustain the aggression from TNC, put them off their game a bit.
I'm sorry, did I just see an Aether Lens on Dragonite? Was that the hero I just saw that on? All right.
You did.
Damn. That is cool. Boomy in the pit here, gonna cookie himself out. PSG LGD are certainly gonna. Oh, what an RP with the coil combo! They're gonna be able to skewer snap a bunch of heroes. Ame's a little bit low. Gabbi's gonna be able to jump onto him. Can they finally get the kill on the carry of LGD? He actually hits the hard camp to be able to heal himself up with the satanic and the heal, but it's not enough. Gabbi is too big. He actually managed to win that man fight. Down for 80 seconds. LGD is still pursuing though with nothing to say, but without the extras, he doesn't do that much damage. They're gonna go for a TP out, but Bob comes right back with a skewer, gives up his life to be able to stop that TP away from nothing to say. They're just bit by bit poking at these two heroes. Gabbi now making the commitment here, wants to be able to make sure he doesn't die to nothing to say, but he's got the talent. He's throwing out Crypt Swarm after Crypt Swarm and does manage to kill the carry of TNC. Still trying to get away here. TNC chasing after him. He's out of mana now. They know he's got no more offensive spells, so they're just going to stick onto him as best as possible. And I think they've got him here. Unless the Winter Wyvern can kill, they've got to kill him fast. Otherwise, the Winter Scourge is going to be coming in. It goes out, but the Death Prophet's already dead. Armel has slid away. As a result, it looks like TNC may end up dying here. Burning out from the Arctic Burn. He does fall. Armel chasing after Jin Q, though, has a low enough. Almost finished him off, but the Cold Embrace is going to keep him alive. Armel out of spells. He's got a silence up, but he doesn't have the distance right now. Boomy looking to approach. They get the silence. Oh, but he turns around and kills him, dropping the gem. As a result, Jin Q trades himself for Armel. Boomy's on the hunt for the gem and a TP away, but he doesn't have TP. He's going to have to just run his way back. It's a 5-on-5 battle right now for the gem. Let's see if Innocence. Oh, he drops a ward just to be able to spot him, but Boomy in turn denies the ward. He takes away the Ghost Scepter with the enchant, dispels him. The Winter Wyvern's coming over with the courier to be able to spot him out. Instantly picks up the gem to make sure there's no enemy courier shenanigans and flies away with it. Drops the gem to make sure they can kill the ward on the high ground. That was that was probably one of my favorite one-on-ones I've ever seen, and it was a 5-on-5 battle.
That was honestly hilarious. And TNC, they're showing their merit in this game. Like, how they took that fight was insane. They're down 15k gold. I thought they won the game there for a second. Like, Roshan was respawning. I gotta say, like, props to nothing for how he played that team fight. You know, he held his BKB for literally like 50 seconds that fight. It's just such patience, and he got it off. Just because he had that BKB, I think he was able to finish off Gabbi. He doesn't do that. I think this game's actually really scary for LGD.
Okay, explain this Aether Lens. Is it really just Dragon Tail range?
There used to be a guy in NA who would go Radiant's Octarine Core on Dragonite.
Okay.
And you would have like 100% uptime on your ultimate. It was terrible. but I think it's sort of cool in the idea that he has for the game. Like it fits the theme where he just wants to be utility. I don't know if it's correct, but you know, I'm sort of curious about why he's doing it. He probably has some idea, right?
Okay.
Maybe he's a cool guy.
So, Aether Lens on melee form Dragon Tails actually going to make it somewhat ranged, right?
Yeah.
So it
triples the range.
It's an instant cast still, right? Melee Dragon form is instant cast, so he will be able to instantly cast it to stun at like 400 range or something.
That's actually really cool versus Puck specifically, right? Because oftentimes you see the range stun come out and Puck phase shifts it. I think approaching what pros do from a point of curiosity like that, where you're like, okay, let me try to figure out why they're doing it, is a really cool way to learn about Dota. Because, man, what you said is so smart. Actually, I'm thinking about it. That's pretty good.
Wonder if we're actually going to be able to see that in action, or if we're just going to be seeing really long
he's going right for the
form
AC.
dragon tails.
I think he went for this Aether Lens, and like the idea is cool, and at the same time, like I bet he wishes he was just a bit more tanky that last fight.
Sure, and maybe even just having like, yeah, I guess armor is more important than BKB right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing about BKB on an offline Dragonet is you sort of want them to cast some spells on you. You sort of want to soak up that damage. I'm not saying BKB is bad necessarily, but in this specific game, I think he's decided he has so many damage sources that he wants them to target him.
Lincoln's picked up for the puck, so he's going to try and put an end to that Dragon Tail reign of madness.
He does have Halberd though, so with the Aether Lens, you can instant Halberd, instant stun.
Yeah, we'll see how good he is on the fingers. Winter's Curse actually put onto the creep there. That's not what he wanted. And Jikyu, he'll pay for that mistake. Nothing to say. Gonna go for the kill on Boke. Won't be able to get it fast enough. He TP's away. Armel orbing out as well. Faith Beyond won't be able to pursue. They won't catch Gabbi. That could have been very scary, but Jin Q missing on the Winter's Curse. Winter's Curse, since that change, is that heroes only or literally no other unit inside?
It's any other unit, even a neutral creep can proc it.
Okay.
So you know the combo is you Winter's Curse and you dig up a kobold with your shovel, it extends the duration. And, go to cinematic highlights. Oh, that's good stuff right there.
What? I thought you were just, I thought I was gonna blow my mind with something crazy.
This is the stuff I think about. And a realistic for Shinkyo. Actually, something that's cool this game is that he has a Witch's Blade versus PA with BKB.
Yeah.
If you hit a BKB unit with Witch's Blade and it doesn't proc, you continue to have the True Strike. So if PA BKBs and you hit him, you will always have True Strike on him until your Witch's Blade procs. Yeah.
That is fascinating. Rupture being used on Boke right now. Ame is sitting on him and looks to be able to kill him while he's still silenced out. Now they're going to chase after Boomy. Tim's probably wants to just roll back to safety. Oh, he got clipped on the wall. Uh-oh. He's going to go ahead and pop his shard here to try and blink away, and he does. Nicely played. But still, losing their Magnus is a big part of their combo.
That was super. Did Ame not want to hit him there? Like, you can still hit him when he's rolled up, right?
Yeah, you can hit him. And he could have stopped the Blink Dagger, but he would have rolled deeper into the base. So I think he just didn't think about the Blink.
Yeah.
But jump in. 2 minutes. Oh, he's actually going to be able to get a 2-man stun. Ame's a little bit of trouble. Oh, the Dagger did 1,400 damage. They're going to be able to finish him off. That's the first life without Gabbi having to commit. As long as Armel can get away here, it's a pretty good trade-off. Gabby's now going to commit using the BKB, but he went for the Enchantress, and the Enchantress has the level 20 talent. She's so hard to bring down. Oh, no. TNC. Can Armel get out? No. Swept up by the Dragon Flames and the Crypt Swarm at the same time. They buy back on Tim's for this one, but Tim's Rolling Thunder now up. Let's see if he can cause a little chaos with Boke about to come up as well. And yeah, LGD thinking about retreating. A 4-on-4 is not what they want to take.
You know what's so weird about this game is that LGD are up 23k gold, but I'm actually really worried for them.
Yeah.
I clicked on PA. When this Rapier comes out, like, she did that Bloodseeker died in an instant there to a dagger and like basically nothing, just some puck spells.
Is it just me, or I feel like LGD was winning this game without Ame, and I haven't seen Ame do very much. Like, yeah, maybe he cleaned up certain fights, but like other than that, fights that they were already winning, he helped them win. But I haven't seen anything very impactful out of him.
Yeah, I think Ame in general, he's a very clean up the fight to carry the game player, which isn't inherently bad. But I agree. I think maybe a little bit of his itemization feels a bit weird to me. Like, I don't think he should have finished his Mjolnir this game, as opposed to something that helps him 1v5 a bit more. Like, they weren't low on damage, as you can see from Jinkyu just dominating.
Oh, tempted to go for the Shockwave Skewer back. Nothing to say, it was a little bit too fast, though. And they are beginning to hit this tier 3 tower. A dangerous combination. Cold Embrace put onto the Death Prophet as the Ghosts are out. Backdoor protection up for a second here.
He does have that Skewer cooldown, so it's up again.
Yeah, they can go for it again, especially it's nothing to say. He starts getting low now, but he popped the cheese just beforehand. He heals up. He's still got the Exorcism going, and they have the Magnus currently orking it up. Tim's, though, causing a little bit of havoc in the back line, and he managed to do a nice Rolling Thunder through most rest of everybody, nothing to say. Finally popping his BKB, chasing after Gabbi. Really wants to be able to get this kill. Gabbi is actually turning around on him with the Satanic, heals up just a little bit. And the rest of the team managed to take the mid lane of Barracks. Now LGD looks to be able to get away. Not cleanly though, they're going to have to leave Innocence behind. Live falls, 80 seconds for him. They're going to chase after nothing to say. They don't. No exorcism, no cheese. They're feeling it right now. They do Dragon Tail some, but it bounces back off the Lotus Orb and they manage to get him out of silent. Gabbi knows taking so much damage. Ame actually wins in the 1v1. He takes him down. Now going to go for Armel as well. Armel managed to phase shift Dual Scepter a little bit more. Can he kill Jin 2? He's going to be able to jump away to his orb. Gabbi's back with a secondary life here, but Ame is seriously cleaning up this team fight. Gets the silence, gets the stun from Faith Beyond, chasing down more heroes. Armel, he's a liability at this point with how low he is. Bulk actually all the way underneath the tower. That's where he managed to get that kill. Ame gets the ultra kill and looks for Gabbi, who's hiding away in the trees, and said, please, not me, not me. More buybacks coming in. They're going to use Bulk to try and skewer him back to the fountain here, but this double damage, Bloodseeker will not quit. Rampage for Ame, as now he's going for the Megas, and TNC are left with just 2 members to try and defend. It's Armel and it's Gabbi, and it's time for them to go. If they want to stop Megas, they have to go soon. A little bit of a poke from Armel. Looks like they're going to have to go for Megas, but Faith Beyond, he's going to force the action first. Managed to get the silence, trying to prevent him from being able to jump back to the fountain, but because of the Satanic dispelling off the silence, he does get back to safety. Now jumping in. Oh, he broke and killed the Bloodseeker. He died just like that. It's gonna be Megas, but TNC are showing they can still hold. Now going for Faith Beyond. Gabbi looking for more of those crits, but it's nothing to say who's a problem for him. They're focusing on the tanky dragon. Okay, a crit finishes him off, gives a little bit of bumper to Gabbi in heals. They go for another break. Nothing to say as the Aegis knows they're gonna have to back away. The silence onto Gabbi. He has to turn and fight. He has to heal up as much as possible. Cookie, a little bit of distance. He heals up more, but he's psyched up. Damage coming out from the exorcism. Not quite enough. He jumps to the greens, heals more and more. A dagger comes out, but it's not enough. Why? Finally gets the shot that puts him in the dirt. 2 minutes for him. Armel looking to be able to kill the Death Prophet here. Boomy sees he's low. He's going to give him the assist, but nothing to say. It's just too damn good. He's too damn fast, and he puts out too much damage. TNC are all going to fall and drop the GG as LGD will finally clean up this game.
Well, what a fight. I think nothing to say in particular in this game. He's really proven what a top-tier player he is. I think he's the highest MMR in the world right now, and he's really showing it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what a performance by him. So many